are now listening to the Fantasy Standard Podcast on Talkdown TV with P and Ryan.
Welcome to the Fantasy Standard Podcast on Talkdown TV. This is P alongside Ryan. If you're watching, it means you're on YouTube, and we kindly ask that you drop a like and hit that subscribe button. If you're listening, it means you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audio Boom, and all other podcast platforms. We also kindly ask that you hit that subscribe button and leave a review. This week, if you see, it's not a double box, it's a tri-box. And so it's not just Ryan and myself. We have a special guest, HHM himself. He hate me. What's up, bro? How you doing?
How you guys doing? Great show so far, man. 5 weeks have been great. Keep it up.
Appreciate that. I mean, obviously, we don't know what we're doing, but we're all taking it as it goes. And, you know, by the way, people probably have heard us mention your name before. I think that people don't know that we have like a separate text group and like we take pointers from you from time to time. So we do appreciate that. We wanted to make sure we shout you out for that, man. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. So, Ryan, what's up?
No, man. Week 6. You know, those
Why are you always frustrated when
I'm not even mad. It's just thinking about having a loss just hits different. Hits different. Like,
yesterday you said something to me that I was thinking about today, and I was like, because my goal, I was like, I was always try to be around 500, but I heard yours, and I was like, man, I actually like that one better. So your thing is you always want to be at least 2 games above 500.
I think that's a safe point.
So you feel better being striking distance for playoffs or feeling comfortable getting into the playoff hunt. 2 games above 500 for you is like your barometer for success.
Yeah, because what is it? 13 weeks. If you can be 8 and I can't do the math right now because I'm shut out, but whatever 2 games above that is, I think that's automatically guaranteeing a playoff spot. But it's just staying level. Everybody wants to be 500 right now for the most part, unless you don't have any points, Pooty. I'm talking to you. But for the most part, you can't be mad being 500,
right?
Because there's teams that just got the first ones and got a hill to climb.
Yeah. What do you think about that, HHM?
I think the magic numbers are in this league. 9 years running, magic numbers always been 8. You get the 8, you gonna most likely make it. This league has been the most competitive. This year is probably getting Ryan back. Ups the ante a little bit. He's made the championship a couple times, 2-3 times. Win or lose, he's always there. We tried to eliminate a lot of the weak links for the most part.
Yeah, we
might still have a couple weak links, whether not using the waiver wire properly, not knowing the waiver wire rules, knowing the IR rules, but for the most part, there's always room for improvement. I believe, you know what I mean?
So do you feel like for a league to last as long as ours has lasted, it's not only the people in it, but the parity. Parity is important, right? So that no one's running away with it. Like I feel like we have that now for the most part, but it's good. It's crazy, hearing it from your perspective, because all we can do is speculate, right? Like all we do, especially now that we have a voice, we speculate the hell out of whatever we want to do. Nobody say shit, right? But it's good hearing it from the source because parity is important to me.
Nah, right. And really quick to touch on that, P. You and a lot of people know this league. Mike said, I think this is the 10th year that it's been going. I was out of it maybe 2 or 3 years. And you kind of know who's going to be competing every single year. Like you can be like, all right, that's who I'm looking at. That's who I'm looking at. And for the most part, people who overachieve and make playoff spots and stuff like that, those are once in a blue. There's no consistency in that. So when they talk, does it hit a little bit different, or does it make y'all feel anyway when there's people that just like you're not really about that life? Why are you talking to me? Like,
I guess it's
because that's how I feel. Sorry, maybe I have like higher standards, but like
it's 2 parts for me. I guess is the expectation of it, right? Like when there's certain things that you shouldn't have to like really re-explain, right? Like I think that's probably more of the frustrating part of it all. because the banter, it's welcome, right? Like, I think last year we haven't gotten this much messaging. Like, I think we could combine the last 3 years and we haven't gotten this many messages, right?
Definitely. It was, man. I looked at my phone the other day. That shit said 102 messages. And I came outside to grab a smoke. I had to look at it twice, and the chat is so full that at times, man, I'll go and I can't see 102 messages. I think you guys crashed the shit the other day. You know what I mean?
It does. It don't show you everything.
It doesn't show exactly. And then I'll go back at nighttime when I'm actually at home in bed, and then I see messages that were posted at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I missed all of this. So
they don't show you on the phone.
Okay.
I agree with you that, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna admit something here, and to the league, this is all about like getting things off your chest and therapy, right? We're helping each other out. But I'm not gonna lie, you guys were annoying me the last few years, so I turned notification off on the messages, so I really wouldn't even read this shit.
I turned it off when I was on too to start. I ain't gonna lie.
But I'm gonna say that in today's climate, I appreciate having my brothers. It's like a fraternity, and I think that this year it's more welcome than ever. So even though we bicker and fight and stuff like that, it's still good to have everybody, because we keep this chat going year round. And I know everybody that doesn't know about our league listening to this, you understand what we're talking about.
Right. There's always, I think we're always, I think the most competitive teams are the ones that agitate each other the most. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Whether your team gets better or worse, there's people that's going to talk just to talk. You know what I mean? Because they just want to feel involved. But when you hear someone else talking, and like Ryan said a couple minutes ago, if they never made a championship game, they, you know what I mean, won and out, they never make the playoffs, there's no history, kind of, you're not at my shrug it off. You're not exactly like you said the other day. You know what I mean? There's the big table, little table.
Yeah. Little table. And I'm not gonna lie. Like, okay, I've been retired, but I'm not dumb. Like, I still know football. Like, I've been in the loop with playing DFS and stuff. So it's like when I started the season 0-2, and everybody was like, oh, blah blah blah, and I'm telling everybody, I need to relax. Like, we don't panic on this side. We don't panic. We built team to win, and it's just not happening right now. But I mean, I love the competitive nature of our league. I love the shit talk, even from people who shouldn't even be talking shit. But that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get into it on the other side. We're gonna cue the drop here, unless Ryan, you have anything.
I'm good.
All right, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, a brief moment to recap the Lights Out Fantasy Football League. Lights Out League, where you never know we'll do next.
So on the other side, we always have our 2 cents, but since we have our guy here, we have 3 cents. But S-E-N, you already know. Ryan, I'm gonna let you take it away with your first sense.
Man, put me on the spot. I don't even have any senses right now.
No, I guess okay. So I think that
I got you.
Go ahead.
I'll lead it off, because what I was talking about yesterday, man. Like, this year is one of the hardest years to be a fantasy football manager, and it's probably why a lot of people didn't play fantasy this year. Like, a lot of my friends that aren't in this league that I talk to and stuff, they're like, yeah, no, I didn't play this year, blah blah blah. And at first, I'm like, yeah, bugging. Like, why not? But now, as the weeks go by, I'm like, I get it. It's a lot more weight. You got to do a lot of more research. You got to know a lot more players. You got to know practice squad. Like, it wasn't like that before. And for me, that has been something in itself with all these COVID issues and all that stuff. But I think something that's been messing with me all year is just like the tinkering and overthinking and going against what I believe.
Dude, I told you that the other day. I'm like, bro, I've never seen you go against your gut so many times.
Yeah. And again, sometimes it's been to my benefit, and other times it's been to for the bad. But
yeah,
I mean, going forward, I'm gonna just trust, and then because I know I can put a team that can beat people. It's just sometimes it's for me, and I'll say this, and I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't get beat, I lose.
Ooh.
Like, I've lost weeks. I've lost to Ricky. Pooty beat me because he scored a lot of points. But even week 1, when I lost to London, like, my team shit the bed. So it's like, it's not like, oh, we're in a battle and you beat me. Like, nah, that wasn't it. So, but going forward, like we talked about with these bye weeks, and Mike knows they're coming, and people don't understand. They don't have depth until they gotta go pick up somebody. Like, you've been nailing all of your bye week plays, P. Like, people think it's lucky when you could put Jeff Wilson in there and DeAndre Swift and Kirk and all of that. It's like, yo, they're like, oh, this lucky motherfucker. But that shit takes some balls.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but to your, also that also takes a little bit of failed moves in McCole Hardman's, but I think that the key to it, and to close your point, is if you know where you failed and you know that you could have made a difference, right? I think that's where you employ his logic, where you say, I know I beat myself on this one.
Yeah, you got to learn, man.
Yeah, I mean, but you turn around and still GG's to the manager, right? Like, you still show love, but that's a good point. That's really good for you to share. I think from my sense, I think I wanted to talk a little more about parity and the importance of parity in leagues. And especially since we have our commissioner here, it's dope to hear his perspective. I'm not putting you on the spot there, dude. Like, you know what I mean? But I feel like we all feel like we're in this league, and this league has gone a long way, and everybody in it has gone a long way and shown a considerable growth. And it's been fun because of that, right? Like, I know that I'm getting my ass kicked by somebody that knows what they're doing. It's like, at least it validates the hard work, because I know that they're putting in hard work too. And we're putting in. It's like, people think, oh, it's not a lot of money, but to some people it might be, right? Like, this is also something, like, the money's an incentive too, right? Like, this is gambling too, right? So, I mean, I love you guys, but I'm not doing this shit for fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's fun. Plus, like, the incentive is there's money there, right? And you guys could be the reason to buy my family gifts for Christmas. I feel like it's harsh in a way, right? But at what point do you sacrifice polarity at what point do you sacrifice, like, having that balance in competition with that friendship aspect? Because this league shouldn't define our friendship, right? Just because I don't think you should be in this league doesn't mean I don't think we're boys. You get what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I mean?
And real quick, Mike, before you even answer, I was telling Peters too, like, even when I did leave, right? I left not because I was losing. Because if I would have won, I was at a point where I was just like exhausted. Like, how hard it is to compete in this league consistently. You've been there. If anybody can attest to it, you probably could. And it's exhausting, mentally exhausting. It takes a lot of work to consistently do what we do. Like, there's a reason why people want us to lose. Like, it's not because we lose all the time. And when I did leave, it was mental break, and it was because I knew that I couldn't give what I knew it took to compete in this league anymore at that level. So when you step back, and then I can come back and I can see the league differently. I can see taking L's differently. I can take the banter differently. I couldn't take it like that before, because I had like, again, we talked about the expectations were through the roof. For me, every year that started, it was championship or nothing. Yeah. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I hope I make the playoffs. Like, I'm like, playoffs? Like, what? I'm gonna be there. Like, it wasn't like that. And it's different for everybody. Everybody isn't wired like we're wired. Everybody doesn't care if they win, but we gotta, like Pete said, what is this league? What is this league? Is it, oh, we're just gonna do this and people want it, some people want it, some people don't? Or like Nelson's joking about, oh, he doesn't want this for us to win. I don't want any of the other 11 to win, but I'm not gonna say that. Like,
exactly. It's bad optics. We all understand that's bad optics. Yeah.
Like, I don't want Mike to win, but I'm not gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna sabotage this person because I don't want Mike to win. Like, Mike knows I don't want him to win. Like,
you all know I don't want any of y'all to win.
So it rubs me the wrong way when and I get it. Everybody, like you said, and Mike wanted to chat in the chat one time, like, everybody isn't wired the same, but for the majority of this league, a lot of people are. And I think those are the questions we got to ask ourselves. It isn't about, are you smart or do you understand? It's, yo, do you really like want to win? Like, at the end of the day.
And even if like maybe some people put their best effort in, it's just not like, what we're accustomed to. Yeah. So I'm sorry, Mike. Well, if you have the floor now, man.
I'm gonna just jump right into it. whether it's about trades, waivers, and Ryan touched a little bit on it. We all think different, man. There's some of us that don't sit in front of the TV from 11 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. on Sundays and watch Red Zone or exactly, you know what I mean? Some people, whether they use Twitter, whether ESPN, Fantasy Pros, and they just go look at the stats the next morning and be like, oh, all right, well, this person did this. But if you're not watching the games, whether it's game flow, whether, you get a lot of garbage points and think, Matt Ryan is a beast. But Matt Ryan had, 25 points just in the fourth quarter because they were down. You know what I mean? So, again, we're some people just don't think alike. My me valuing a player, you might not value him the same. You know what I mean? Like, I'll use Odell as I saw a couple reports, a couple things before the season started, and I'm thinking Odell's going to be a wide receiver 1 all year. He's kind of a low 2. You know what I mean? In my opinion. Yeah. There was some trade rumors. So, me drafting Odell was thinking, okay, well, he's probably going to end up on the Patriots.
And his value,
his value goes up. And then as far as using the waiver wire, it's not like it changes every week. You know what I mean? We know Tuesday night is waiver wire night. So if you wake up Wednesday and you don't know, you missed out on the players you wanted, that's your fault. That's simple. Trades, again, I'll touch on trades because some of the private text messages I got, I had a couple people that wanted me to come on here. P, you invited me, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, and not that I declined it. I asked you to maybe get someone that's out of the league to provide input.
100%.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be biased. I don't want to pat myself on the back or like Ryan said, I don't want anyone to win. I want to win it. You know what I mean? Touching on the Nelson thing, I'm kind of all over the place right now with just all my thoughts. I'm trying to get everything all in together.
No worries.
Honestly, I swear to you on my son, I did not, whether I missed it on the chat board because 102 messages just skimming through them. I honestly don't remember him saying that. But if 11 of you guys or 10 of you guys said he said it, then okay, you're right. We're not supposed to say something like that. But again, we all don't think alike. If he said it and that's how he feels, it is what it is. Regarding the podcast,
I'm sorry to cut you off. The reason I say it's bad optics because he might have said that independent of what you and him talked about. You get what I'm saying? So it's just bad optics on the outside looking in. It looks like a collective effort, but whenas it could have just easily been as innocent, right? If he just wouldn't have said anything.
But the only thing, and I could disclose this, and hopefully it does not get edited. I have nothing against Nelson. You know what I mean? Known Nelson for 15 years. I've known you guys a little bit longer. But we, again, at the end of the day, we're all brothers.
That's 100%.
Some of us might be more, I don't want to use the word sensitive, but when you are constantly feel like you're getting bullied by 5, 6, 7 other people, you listen to the podcast and you feel like the host, maybe one of the hosts, maybe both of the hosts are always shitting on your team, but again, whether it's how a person takes it. I take it, and I'm gonna touch on this real quick, so I don't waste too much time. Me and you used to go at it all the time, all the time. It was Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens.
Yo, but I just looked at the history. Hold on, I looked at the history. This dude beat me like 4 or 5 straight years in a regular season. The only way I was getting my revenge is in the playoffs. I sprinkled in a few wins, but it wasn't really the Steelers and the Ravens.
But no. As far as trade talk, as far as trash talk,
100%.
We used to go at it and
team names and everything.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It got wild, but again, that's why I say, you got to separate the fantasy manager from the commissioner from the friendship.
From the human, yeah.
You know what I mean. I said it. I joke around about this all the time. We don't go out, throw the ball, run the ball, call any of these plays. We don't control any of this. This is fake football. Exactly.
Because I think I can make better calls than some of these coaches, but that's neither here nor there. Yo, Mike,
100%.
I want to say, P, real quick. While we're on this, with like you're saying, like if sensitivity is the issue, then we talked about, this isn't a league for sensitive people. I get bullied every single week if we want to put it. and again, old Ryan might have felt a certain way, right? Maybe people think that's why I left, but it wasn't that. It was just like, yo, I just mentally can't. I don't have the capacity to deal with this stuff. And I could come back and be like, oh, that's funny. That was cute. Like, and then not take it to account because I'm going to be a playoff team and they can't do nothing about it. So the wins will translate. But even with the trade, while we're on it, for me, the trade was never a problem. Like, the way people discuss and they negotiate, it is what it is, man. We're adults at the end of the day. And I don't like judging trades. Like, if somebody can agree to trade with somebody, you have great negotiating tactics. That's just what it is. I might perceive somebody and think I'm buying low on somebody and whatever. Like, that's irrelevant. And then, like you said, I know for a fact Mike went into that trade not knowing that this was Nelson's thoughts and stuff like that. Like, well, I wasn't even mad about that either. I was even mad at Mike for the trade. I'm joking and making all these pokes and stuff because it's funny at that point. But I was more upset, like I talked about earlier, with what Nelson was doing because, again, he thinks everybody's conspiring against him and all of this stuff. And at the end of the day, it's literally him versus himself.
Yeah,
like, I don't see how we don't show him love. We've been giving him props majority of the year. Like, probably one of the first years he's been doing well.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And it's frustrating because it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, this whole conspiracy, and it's like I listened back to the show and I'm like, I tell Ryan, like, damn, bro, I thought I showed some love. I thought I was less harsh on him than I was on other people. You get what I'm saying? So I can't, like, one thing I won't do, the brother, is filter it any more than that. Because then at that point, I'm giving preferential treatment to one person over everybody else because of sensitivity. And I hope that's not it. You get what I'm saying? Like I get it. Like, I guess maybe it's not because of sensitivity, right? Like, I just guess I think that there's a respect level there too, right? Like, that we have to sprinkle in. But I think that it's like Ryan said, you sign up for this knowing that you're not going to get bullied. That's a terrible way to look at it. I hope, and I know that you use that, right? Like, I don't think that you literally mean that we're bullying, but I think that there's a little bit of a culture here that we have in this league, right? Like, I don't feel like anyone, so I don't want to have to get to the point where we have to calibrate that behavior.
Yeah. Right. I agree with you guys 100%. But again, I think this is Nelson's first. We're talking about Nelson, so we'll stick on Nelson. And I love Nelson like a brother. We don't.
That goes without saying.
You know what I mean? But he's been. I think this is his first year back. You know what I mean? So maybe he's not used to the trash talking.
Yeah.
The way we take it up a notch. You know what I mean? So. I think he was out of the league for a couple of years, just like Ryan. But Ryan's kind of used to it too. You know what I mean? He knows. He knows we're all going to talk shit. We're going to get on each other. But I'll speak for myself. I can't wait for Wednesdays for this for the pot to drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of usually for the past 5 weeks. Yeah. So my matchup is either first or second that you guys dissect. You know what I mean? I think Ryan's only picked me once or twice to win this. I don't take that shit. I don't take that shit personal.
No, how many?
I mean, and again, I don't.
You know what me and Ryan said? We don't even keep track. Do you know how many times I picked you?
Oh yeah, you picked me last week to have the boom week. You know what I mean? Ryan was kind of on point. Was like, maybe he has a chance if it ends up being 111, 110. You know what I mean?
I'm just assuming
it ended up being a 4. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's, man, listen, I don't take any of this shit personal.
And not for nothing. This is why I told people, I'm like, yo, I'm not even picking who's gonna win anymore, because at the end of the day, like, that's irrelevant. Like, whoever wins fucking wins. I think the funny thing is, and we talked about, like, I don't even like using the word bullying because that's very strong. But
yeah,
what combats people talking is just winning. And for me, like Nelson was winning. I don't understand how us talking is bothering him when you're winning. Like when I was 0-2 and everybody's talking, and I'm like, yo, relax. I'm gonna come back. And I win 3 in a row and they stop talking. And then I finally lose. And it's like, oh, let's get on him again. Like it's like I'm cool. Like Ricky's thinking that I'm losing sleep, and then all these gifts are gonna buy. I'm like, bro, I'm good. I'm chilling. Like I'm still ahead of you. Like,
let me tell you something. In the GIF MVP race, Ricky's got the lead, bro.
Pootie is number 1.
Nah. Pootie went back down to number 2 as soon as Ricky turned into the bat, bro.
He turns into somebody different every week.
Yo, as soon as he did that shit, I said he's Trout right now. He's Mike Trout. He's got it.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start guessing what Ricky's name is gonna be.
Week.
Yeah. So he's the bat. He's playing Let's Go. We're gonna have to guess what his name is.
Where are we going?
Already gone.
How about you, Mike? What do you think?
I don't know, man. Ricky's a wild one. It's Ricky. Like I said, man, we're all different. We're all different. What that's his motivation. I think certain people talk shit more on the weeks that they feel like they're the underdog. It's kind of like to boost their self-esteem or their team, but
coach speak.
It's coach speak. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Again, we don't go out there. We don't throw the football. We don't run. We don't call these plays. It's But again, from September till December, this shit is supposed to be fun. That's why I say it's fun. I know there's money involved. You know what I mean? But like I said, with COVID, whether just outside world, whether it's work, this is my getaway.
Yeah.
And like I told you guys, in a private text message, my office is the bathroom. You know what I mean? When you got a family, man, you can't. you just can't. You can't be on it like that.
Right.
But again, going back on trades, because that's the main reason. People wanted me on here. I think the conversation started, like I said, with a few managers on trades, whether it's John and Will. And the responses I got, I don't mind sharing. I'm not ratting anyone out. I'm not Tekashi 6ix9ine, none of that. Will came back and told me straight up. He goes, I didn't want to make your team stronger. I wanted to keep it a level playing field, and that's why I didn't want to trade with you. The trade was I was looking for a running back. I wanted Carson while he was on a bye. Will wanted Devontae Adams and A-Rod. Couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Again, not disclosing. Again, not ratting anyone out.
No. I guess it's context.
You know what I mean? But
it's context.
But that was exactly. You know what I mean? John needs a second running back this week. Now, again, you guys might think it's weird, but again, success is based on how you handle your team and whether you get better or not. So I've had a manager or two, no names mentioned, reached out, and with me taking an L this week, I believe I'm either 6th or 7th in the waiver. Now we know, no names mentioned, we have a couple managers that are.
You're 6th in the waiver right now.
Okay, 6, right? So there's a couple people. I got 5 other people in front of me on the waiver wire. Tonight is waivers. They're going to go through. Are we going to have 2 managers that are going to fall asleep? There's a lot of running back injuries out there. You know what I mean? Are they going to forget that waiver is going on today? So I've had a couple managers reach out and be like, yo, if you end up with this running back, I might be willing to trade you this person. I don't think that's cheating or conspiring against anyone. No. That's fair talk. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Everyone's trying to get better. Everyone is trying to compete. It's so. Like I said, man.
I think real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think that a really good point is I think it's hard for us to properly gauge any player in the league, especially as it relates to a person's liking for that player, right? Some people have more of an affinity for other players. So I think that we're penalizing certain people for liking certain people because we like other people more. I think that's the simplest way I can put it. right?
Yeah.
So I think to the core, I think it's dangerous when we get to that point.
That's why, again, I don't judge trades. Like even when trades, I'm like, that trade doesn't even make sense. Like when people, and I've joked about it, when people are trading running backs for running backs, I'm like in my head, I'm like, that's just not logical.
Yeah.
Like, again, if that's what they want to do, is what they want to do. Because when I make trades, I don't want people being like, oh, you got this or you got that. Like, bro, I negotiated with somebody. I didn't fucking go in there and put a gun to his head and be like, yo, give me this guy. Take this guy. Like, no, like the guy literally wanted this guy back. Like,
and a lot of times you just don't know what's going on. A lot of times you would think that a person went out and reached out for a player, but it could be the other way around. And you'd be like, damn, he asked for that person. Like, you know what I mean? And I think more people beat themselves up for not offering something like that, right? Like,
you know what it is?
You know
Pete, you hit it on the head. Some people just don't know how to trade. Some people just suck at trading. Like, it's not my fault I went in and asked for Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? And you know what's crazy? I rejected Russell Wilson 2-3 weeks ago.
I can vouch for that.
I had he literally was the same trade, and I was like, no, I don't want Russell Wilson. Like, I'm straight. Like, because I needed James Robinson. I had bye weeks. I know how important that was, and it helped me get victories. Now both my burning backs are on buys. I can afford to give somebody like that up. And you look at Suicide Squad's team, and he's jumping up in projections. He's jumping up in power rankings because his running backs are scary now. Like, he reformatted his team, and I respect somebody trying to do that. And not to call anybody out, but there's some owners who are just going out there and hoping they win, like, or they need to play people who put up 50, 60 points to get the win. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta do better.
Just to touch on something, this year has been weird with trades, in my opinion, because you guys touched on it. You trade for a running back, you're playing that person that week, and you start those running backs against each other, right?
I thought I was joking.
That's one. So that's one thing. Again, and I'm not faulting anyone for that. That's their thought process, whether they like the matchup of that certain player that they're getting back and they want to play him that week, so be it, right? And then we have other trades that are being made, and then, you know, the player acquired in the trade plays one game, is not injured, no COVID, maybe doesn't perform as well as you thought, and then you drop that player. I didn't understand that. You know what I mean? Again, not calling anyone out.
No, there's a lot.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
You don't. What was the point? What was the point of trading then? You know what I mean? To touch on again, when me and you used to go at it. You know what I mean? It was most years. It was me looking for the 0-5, 0-16, and trading with them. And that caused a big problem in the league in the past. You know what I mean? So you know, Ryan, I don't know if you, again, to me, it's all fun and games. I don't take shit personally, man. You know, I think you called me a hater. I wasn't directing it at you. My trade analysis, you know what I mean? My point was, you know, all right, so you're building your team, you're 0-5. You're starting, you got the number one quarterback in the league, you build your running back core, but you traded away basically your number one player. I didn't understand that. That wasn't directed at you.
No,
it was
I know.
more at Carl.
Like, I know you had to do. My problem was the screenshot and posting it and making it public. Like, that was my problem. I know you have to analyze it. That's, I mean, you do
that. I told Ryan that's part of your process.
Yeah,
I know you do that.
I just had a problem with it becoming public and making it a scene. Like, you could have thought that to yourself, and then if you wanted to address this and be like, hey, what were y'all thinking here? Like that. No, that's all I'm saying. Like, and I wasn't mad, and like I didn't take it personal or nothing. Like, you're my boy at the end of the day. I'm not gonna be like, yo. Right. I was just like thrown off. I was like, whoa, like that's not Mike. Mike don't do that. Like,
yeah.
So that's all it was to me. I wasn't mad.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I didn't do that in spite. Like I said, I analyzed.
No, I get it. But that's just
trade,
how I took
whether
it.
It's my trade. Yeah, my apologies.
And it was just a misunderstanding.
But yeah, and what I posted, or you know, what I shared is what everyone else could go and see when they evaluate the trade. You know what I mean?
We never did it with any other trades, so that was the issue with me. Like, it's all right. And again, what people don't realize is, we're trading the best players or whatever. Like, I lost this week because I traded for a quarterback that was on a bye, right? If I keep James Robinson and I start who I was going to start, I beat Ricky. So I lost
Same
this
here.
week because of that.
Same here. Same
So
here.
it's like, oh,
Darrell
yeah,
Henderson.
cool. I took
Darrell
that.
Henderson had, right. Darrell Henderson had, if I would have had Darrell Henderson as my number 2 with Kareem only gave me 5 points. I lost by 4.5 points.
Yeah,
Moss
I
gave
beat
me
Ricky
1.
by 1, like with James
Yeah, you
instead of Devontae. I had James in my lineup all week. So it's like, people can be like, oh, you this and that. And like, yeah, it didn't affect Suicide Squad because he was playing a scrub. Let's be honest. But going forward, when Suicide Squad has to play people who are actually good, it might look different.
Yeah.
And he told you his reasons.
Yeah,
I told you Suicide Squad came to me weeks ago asking for games.
Yeah.
Weeks, and I was like, bro, I can't do this right now. Like, it just doesn't work for my team.
That's part of the outside opinions that we feel like we're entitled to have, not knowing that type of information, right? Like, you know, and that's where it's like, to Mike's point, I question more of Carl's motives rather than Ryan's motives, right? Because I know what Ryan's doing. I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, not again, and not to get on anyone. Like I said, what I mentioned earlier with, you know, I don't know, maybe it was you, P, that had Ebron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You trade for Ebron and then you drop him a couple of days later. Like, why?
Because I heard some dumb shit. That's when I started talking, right?
Wait, you dropped Ebron?
No, I traded Ebron.
He traded.
Oh.
Yeah. I traded Ebron. I traded Ebron for Ertz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
felt
Ebron
like
gets dropped.
Yeah, like I don't get that because I felt like, you know, you could use an Ebron, right? Like, but I said, yo, take Ebron or he wanted Ebron for the bye week. So I was like, yo, you could definitely. I thought I was getting an upgrade, and it hurts.
The best player you got was Slayton.
But Slayton's been that's a piece I really wanted. So
you were like, that's a throwing piece, but he won 2 weeks for you almost.
Where I work, we call that a clearing. What we just did with 2 cents. Does everybody feel good? Everybody feels good. We're clear.
I want everybody to understand that, at least here within this conversation, nobody is mad. I hope the league understands that nobody's mad. Of course, people are going to have opinions, and that's fine. You're entitled to feel however the hell you want to feel. But you can't be mad at people trying to win. I get mad at people not trying to win. That's it. That's all it is. Like, it's just the integrity at the end of the day, man. Like, I know all of us want to win at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say that for everybody in this league.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to be able to say.
Yeah. And then I think that this is where we reserve these confirmation. I think that what happens is it's easier for us to be upset about it in the moment when it's happening. But remember, fantasy football isn't only these months. In the off season, you have a lot of time to reach out to Mike and voice your concerns about situations like this, or managers, because he's the one that talks to everyone and takes a pulse with the league. So he's the one that knows what everyone as a collective is thinking. Don't wait until in the season when he's trying to manage his team too. I got to defend that because I know that's not easy, right? Like, we should we have Zoom calls in the off season, attend those and ask questions, right? Because we can have more than one to go over them in the off season, but we're getting way too thick in the mud trying to think of rules and shit like that when we could do this in the off season.
Yeah, this ain't a chopping block in the middle of the year. Like, sorry that your team sucks, but my team is all right. I'm surviving here. Like,
and I
gotta just manage.
And I saw people are talking about bring back the veto. I can promise you that'll make more of a mess because you weaponize your vote, and that's not fair because there are 2 managers. Yeah, you would hope that now parity in terms of knowledge of like the managers, parity is what we're aiming for, right? Not like. I think that just creates stupid ass rules that we don't need. Personally, I think the trade has been the best thing that we've done in the last few years. Personally,
the veto. I could almost guarantee you the veto is not coming back. You know what I mean? It's on the board. It's on the board. The trade is final. And again, if every year, I think the league has been going up in dues. It's $175 thanks to Pooty. Because I think it was 100 before, and then it went to 150. Now it's 175.
Pooty gonna say 200 next year.
Exactly.
There's a tax. There's a wealth tax.
If it's 200 next year, we definitely gonna make some changes.
Yeah, you know. But again,
because I'm gonna retire. Fuck all that. I'll go play John's Public Leagues. I'll ask for the fucking invite.
I guess for I think since we're clear and we're good, let's go on to the recap from last week, and especially since we have the commish here, I think it's fun to hear what he thinks of some of these matchups.
Just one more thing, P.
Yeah, go for
it. It's $175. If the person doesn't want to use their waivers, values players or looks at his team differently, and they want to throw their $175 away, I can't, as a commissioner, I can't tell a person don't do this or do that.
Not in the moment. No,
their money.
Absolutely not.
They paid their dues. I can't say I'm kicking you out because you traded for such player and then you dropped them the next week.
No.
I can't. I can't.
That's getting too granular with it.
That's not why we want to kick people out. Again, these conversations are to had after the season's over because everybody paid to play this year.
Yeah,
they're playing for the whole year, and that's the end of it. Like, all these kick out people, I gotta chill.
But I don't think your fee guarantees you a spot next year. Personally,
that's it. You pay to play this year.
You pay to play this year. Right, I think that's the best way, bro.
I'm evaluated every year too.
Evaluate me, bro. Except in 2016 when I went 12.
Yeah. Like when you lose 3 straight, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to pay no more, and I ain't losing. No. I'm good.
All right, let's go into the recap for last week, week 6, and we had some pretty surprising results. The first matchup, obviously, it's my account, so it shows mine first. So it was Poe Biden defeating No Limit Soldiers, 116-81, and I dare I say that was a measly 81.
Measlyville. He's definitely back in town.
What do you see in this matchup here, Rye?
Woo, man. Alexander Madison, the biggest letdown of week 6.
Wow. I mean, who would have thought, though? I think if all of us would have had Madison, we would have started him.
I would have had, man, listen. Pootie knew what he did when he was taking Madison and Latavius Murray. And those were great decisions and moves. It just didn't pay out.
100%.
Didn't pan out. Tanyan, obviously that game got out of control. That didn't pan out. The Cowboys look like they're done for the year. But let's be honest. You had guys go the fuck off. And when that happens, you literally beat him with 4 guys.
Yeah, pretty much. My RB2.
Like how you get one from Evans and put up 116?
Yo, my RB2 Tucker put up 16.
Golly. I wish Bucker could talk to him. They should talk.
Yo, Christian Kirk though. I remember earlier in the year, I said I liked Christian Kirk, and someone laughed when they saw that he was dropped. I think this is the moment where I get to talk my shit. Because I told ya.
Besides the matchup, obviously, what was like, yo, I got to start Christian Kirk? Or was it solely matchup?
Because 100% matchup, and I think that opportunity, the opportunity that the person was going to have, I think that Dallas has also allowed the most touchdowns, or they're one of the tops in terms of touchdowns allowed. So I could have picked a matchup where a team is susceptible but more yards wise, but I said, you know what? There's a chance he's going to score a receiving touchdown. If I at least get one, I think I was telling you I'll take 5 points. And I think I said the same thing with Swift. I said I just take 5 points with Swift, and I don't know how the hell that happened.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I was talking to Peterson. He's like, yo, I don't know how I'm gonna get points. I was like, yo, me neither.
But I said I'm gonna leave that lineup. I'm gonna set my lineup, and I'm leaving it. And
Thanks.
you know what? I think that's a lesson. Sometimes your first instinct is your best instinct. Don't listen to these outside experts, because half the time they don't watch football like you do. Right? They just interpret stats. You're interpreting facts by looking at it. Wow, did we just
bars?
Oh God, bro. All right, so anything else from this matchup?
Nah, I'm glad Pootie lost.
Hey, Kamish, anything you want to add from this?
Again, man, they've been talking up Swift for 5 weeks now, even going back to the preseason. I don't know what the hell Matt Patricia is doing at his boom week. Let's see, let's see if he keeps it up.
So
I think AP scored the first touchdown of the game, and then I don't think AP was heard from. Again, me being away from my house, I wasn't able to watch 12 hours of football.
Had like
today.
3 goal line carries, and he hadn't had that many since like week 1 or some shit like that.
Right.
Or he hadn't even had they're involving him a lot more. He's part of the game plan. I told P, I was like, look, I didn't think he was going to get it rushing. I'm going to be honest. I'm like, look, it might be a back and forth. He might get a lot of receiving yards. And he might score. He amazed me past my wildest belief. I didn't expect this.
Better dynasty back, Swift or Taylor?
Ooh.
Swift.
Ooh.
Swift.
You know what it is, man?
Get rid of Matt Patricia.
Yeah, facts. You know what it is about Taylor? And this is not because John has him. Because we'll get to him when we get to his matchup.
We'll get to you.
We don't have him this week. But look, let's be honest. We talk about watching football.
Yeah.
Taylor looks the part. Swift is the part. He's doing it with less, and Taylor is just not efficient at all. Like he looks really good. He just ain't doing shit except falling into the end zone once in a blue.
Yeah, pretty much. How about a better dynasty, a CEH or Swift?
I gotta go CEH. Just cause, man, that offense is too good.
Yeah.
Andy Reid. To me, it comes back to coaching.
Yeah.
Andy Reid, Big Red.
Tell J.K. Dobbins to go visit Swift so he can get me some.
Yo, and we actually got a little taste of what that CEH Andy Reid relationship is going to look like in the future. I think that Reid did that on purpose to show that Bell coming in is not because CEH can't handle it, is because it's Bell's turn now.
They used Darrell Williams. I don't know if you saw the game. Like they used Darrell Williams a lot. Like I think they're going to use Le'Veon.
Yeah, you did mention
that. Le'Veon could ball, and I'm still going to kill y'all with CEH.
Yeah, I can see that. That's a really good
CEH from between the 20s, and then once they get down to the red zone,
Le'Veon is a dog in the red zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so let's go to the next matchup, and that's He Hate Me, who's actually here, versus Dead Presidents, and this actually went to Monday.
I thought you was gonna pull this joint off,
yo.
104 to 108. For sake of balance, I was like, please, I hope he loses because I want him to be 3-3 still. But I'm like, damn, this motherfucker gonna get one.
Yo, I could not believe it, man. And I think the defense, the fact that you had Arizona defense was a last minute move for you, right?
It was, and that goes back as a Bills fan. You gotta love Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is the worst quarterback in primetime games. Had nothing, you got three of the best wide receivers in the league, in my opinion. You got a top 3 running back, but you can't perform under the lights. So, and Arizona's turnover differential coming into the game, they were -4. So
yeah, they hadn't done shit all year.
Exactly, So it came down, like I said, to the last 3 minutes of the game. All I needed was a sack, strip, fumble in the last 3 minutes.
That's what he was saying.
That would have been sack, strip, fumble would have been 3 points. I would have, got away with a win by 0.88. I would have took it, but they ended up scoring. I wasn't even hurt by it. It's
I'm over here rooting for Andy to throw the ball. I'm like, throw the ball. I'm like, don't get sacked and fumble. I was like, Mike is gonna win with a sack, strip, fumble. I'm like, no.
You know what I mean? The other move was Trey Burton. You know what I mean? I sat on him for 2 weeks. Doyle, I don't know what's up with Doyle. Mo Alley Cox, I had him earlier in the year, banged up. But when you're running 6-8 rounds a game and you're only getting targeted maybe once or twice, Burton needed to get healthy, so stuck around with him. And Atlanta's kicker, new coach. They was gonna ball out. I just had a feeling that they was gonna put up points, and what better? Who else would I have picked up that would replace Lutz? So those 3 moves. Those 3 moves is I think what gave me a shot. A-Rod underperforming, Adams underperforming, Godwin.
I think you expected that from Godwin, to be honest, because he's still working his way in there.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers has an average game, and you beat him by a lot.
Oh my God!
Right. Or me not making the trade and starting Josh Allen, even if the shitty weather game, I would have had an upset win. But again, man, going back on to what we talked about with the 2 cents, got to make those waiver wire moves.
Absolutely.
Without them, you ain't going nowhere.
Nah, 100%. On Dead President's side, if you look at Kyler Murray, and Ryan and I were looking at his numbers, and he hasn't gone under 29 points all year. That's amazing.
Right.
Like if you know you're getting that in the 5th round, is that where he got him?
Yeah, I think so.
If you know you're getting that in the 5th round, you sign up for that immediately from your quarterback. 6th round, I mean, even better. His wide receivers, they're going to turn it around. I just think he's a scary team because his floor is scary.
Yeah, but his floor is falling out.
Yeah, his floor is falling out. Miles Sanders injury, that's a big injury. Yeah, Miles Sanders injury is a big injury. Ingram banged up. They said it's not serious, but will he play this week? McCole Hardman with a fat donut in the flex. So not everyone's without faults. I guess that's the lesson here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody. AJ Brown and DK Metcalf just showing off at this point.
Yeah.
They taking turns.
I'm glad you touched on that. And again, this goes back to, I don't know what some of these referees are watching. There's been a lot of bad calls that's deciding fantasy football matchups. I play in another league with another manager that's actually in this league, and he could tell you that last play by Drake last night killed someone else in my other league.
Wow.
They didn't have to run the ball. The other person ended up losing by 3 because of Drake's 61-yard run for a touchdown at the end of the game. That wasn't needed. AJ Brown, again, I think that touchdown, I don't think that was a touchdown. Andy Dalton throwing that pick last night. CD Lamb got pulled down. Referees acted like, they were 3 feet away from they ain't call pass interference. These referees are deciding a lot in real football and in this fake football game.
Yeah. That's a good thing to note, because we blame it on the player performance. We don't really know that maybe some quarterbacks are getting an extra play, or a play's being taken off the board from your running back. You don't even know if maybe he ran a 40-yard play and it's getting called back. Oh yeah, I agree with you. I feel like there are a little more flags. I think a little less of those false start penalties, because obviously there's no one in the stadium really to make noise. But more of those like contact penalties, like the pass interference, the illegal contacts, like you do see a little more of that. And I think that you're right. Normally refs are more reluctant to call a flag in a crucial play.
Yeah, but you know what else too? I feel like I can't blame it so much on the refs, because some of these fucking players are just playing like trash. These corners and the defense. Yeah. Obviously, we saw the first 4 weeks. These points being scored was insane. But at the end of the Cowboys game, when the Cowboys were on the red zone, or whatever, and this freaking guy's holding Gallup like every play. Like, bro, are you gonna play defense, or are you just gonna pass interference this guy all game?
Yeah.
And then look, if Will gets a touchdown there, then it's like, oh, Will wins his matchup.
Yeah.
So it does affect a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it does. Larry Fitzgerald caught it yesterday, ran out of bounds, reached for the pylon. I mean, not for the pylon, for the first yard.
First down. Yeah,
it wasn't a first down.
I saw that.
And I think I forgot who the announcer was. Maybe it was Brian. It doesn't matter who the announcer was, but he goes, "Oh, that's Larry Legend. He's gonna get that call."
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
It was Buck and Aikman. Wasn't it Buck and Aikman, or did they do the Buffalo game? Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Sure. Joe Buck and Aikman are under a lot of heat for other reasons.
Yeah, I see that
last week.
I digress. Digress.
Yeah.
What they said? I didn't guess that.
Yeah, the flyovers. They basically were like, that's a good waste of like military money. And then one of them, I think Buck said, well, they wouldn't be doing that with Biden and Kamala
and Harris. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's as political as we'll get. But let's go to the next matchup, because this is our Super Bowl. This is the best matchup of the entire year. We got #NotAmused, who put up I don't even know what we've called the 60s yet. We've called it I'm not even gonna say it. 69. And then let's go with 74. It's chilly. It's chilly in this room.
I wish I played one of them this week.
What do you see in this matchup? I mean, what can we even recap?
Man, was I right about Chase Claypool or not?
Yeah, nailed it.
fucking man. I didn't have the patience for this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I think DeAndre Johnson was gonna get it, but man, Chase Claypool looks the damn part.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's been killing it.
Man, it's like with not amused. I think this is the 4th straight loss, right?
Yeah, man, it was 2-0.
Wow, I feel like what happens is that it gets in your head and you start feeling like no move you make is the right move, or you're in your head to the point where you feel like 8 players make sense. You know what I mean? You're more confused than ever when you get to this. So, Will, don't listen to this.
He started 2 guys on the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think this one thing that I noticed, and this is a lesson for a lot of fantasy players, and this is for free. When you look at successful fantasy teams, for the most part, their players belong to successful NFL offenses and teams. When you look at certain players' records and you wonder why they bust more than they boom, is because a lot of players are on losing teams.
Facts.
And you wonder why sometimes. I think that certain fantasy players, we think that they're just because of the name that they're impervious to the what befalls their team, right? If your team sucks, it doesn't matter what your name is. Your stats are probably gonna suck. You know what I mean? So be mindful of that when you're drafting too, and don't get mad at a receiver if he's on a losing team because you expect him to be blown out and the quarterback's all of a sudden going to get him the ball. What if the quarterback sucks? They're bad for a reason.
Yeah, garbage time isn't always good garbage.
Yeah, exactly. In this matchup, anything else, guys? Before we
I don't. Nobody deserved to win this week, honestly. But shout out to Let's Go for getting his first win.
Yeah, first win. Congrats, man.
Now Will's only 1 game ahead. Those guys.
For Let's Go again, I haven't seen him, and I think I put this on the board. I think he went back home, I think 2 days after draft day, and I think he spent probably at least a month there. That's why you haven't seen him on the chat. I don't think he was making waiver wire moves. I don't know if it was the time difference. I'm not making excuses for him.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to him. I haven't, nothing. But again, man, I think him and Rye had the best draft grades on draft night.
It was.
That doesn't translate to much. So again, we all think different, man. He thought, okay, I got an A+. I'm a cruise to a championship or the playoff spot. It don't work that way.
No, that's like 30%.
Really different.
Yeah.
And that's draft.
That's like 30% of that's like 30% of the manager's responsibilities, man.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's I think the theme of this is that we have you here to provide context for things that other people might not know either, right? So whereas we get frustrated, we don't know that the real life situation is maybe there's like some unforeseen circumstance that he had to like shift and pivot. So he did have a good draft.
He's definitely active because he's definitely rejected some trade offers.
Yeah, I like that. That's the best comment of the year right there. That's true.
He's definitely rejected some trade offers, and I'm sure John has tried to get running backs from him. So
yeah, he's still trying.
I don't think Let's Go has ever traded in this league. I would have to go back and look at it when I'm on a computer for the past. I think he's been with us for 4 or 5 years now.
4 or 5.
I don't think he's ever traded, to be honest with you.
Man, who's gonna be the first? Who's gonna be the first?
I don't think anybody at this point.
Hey man, I try every other week, but
next year,
it'll get through eventually.
All right, next.
Let's go up to the next, and I think this is probably. Did we say this was the matchup of? No, we
Man, I can't be the matchup but a week every week, man.
No, it was the other one. I know which one. But this was the bat against. It was Why So Serious at the time, and a shooter against Why So Serious, 105 to 98-22. I guess, Rye, what happened here, man?
Underperforming. My only excuse. But again, his team came up, man. I mean, Gaskins is a great player, man. We got to stop making these running backs that don't have names and act like they suck. James Robinson, Gaskins, these guys are for real. Like, I don't know what y'all looking, but when I watch them play football, they're good at it. I don't care what their names are.
Yeah. So
I knew Gaskins was gonna ball against the Jets, especially. What I didn't see coming was Gronk. That took me by the side, and he balled up, man. Best game of the year. Tannehill balled up. And again, it was a good matchup. Losing by 7 points.
I did want to mention that there was a trade before this one, and it was Tannehill coming over to the bat from the whole show for Will Fuller. Yeah. So at the time, he was going to go with who at quarterback?
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he was going to go with Fitz at quarterback. So that would have made a difference in this matchup.
Facts. I would have won.
So kudos to Shooter.
It was a good play. He put the right people in. I give him props for that.
Shooter, I tell you, this is the Shooter that I expected to see draft night.
Facts.
What we've been seeing the last few weeks. So I know you see his team is gone back to what he normally does, which is a 3 running back.
Yeah,
because it's like, who were you at draft night? It's like, dude, who are you, right? Like, this, like, what strategy were you trying to employ here? This isn't yours.
To touch on draft night, since you guys brought it up, you guys know where Keith COVID hosted the draft. There was a lot of edibles going on. There was a lot of smoking and drinking going on. And six weeks in, it shows the most sober person out of all of us around that table is the team that's currently 6-0.
Oh wow, that's amazing!
First time
he knew.
First time kept the alcohol consumption at very minimum, and there was no any other.
No case of the yips.
Nothing.
No case of the yips.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
amazing.
Again, this is why you guys have me here. This is
again, context.
Not laying anybody out, but yeah, it's,
context.
It shows.
Yeah, it does.
A lot of these teams, and look, I keep talking about bye weeks because I probably have been the team that's been hit the most with bye weeks so far. I literally have had now my starting quarterback, both of my running backs, my number 1 receiver, and now my tight end this week. In the first 7 weeks, to have almost your whole team go on bye is tough. And again, to be 3-3, a lot of these teams that are 3-3 and all of this stuff, like, they're gonna realize, because he's been playing full power every week. That's why he's won 3 in a row. This team rebuilt now looks really good when it's fully there. But you got a piece or two missing, and you can't find somebody to replace, and you have to. Everybody isn't P where they can start 20-point guys. I mean,
dart throw.
So I keep saying that, but I want to make it a point because when it happens and people are like, oh, I didn't know how I lost. I'll show you how you lost. You had this guy's or me too.
Yeah.
So yeah. Good win for Ricky, man.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's back in the running.
I think before we move on, I wanted to highlight a conversation that you and I had about your tight end, actually, Mark Andrews. And I think there was something curious about his numbers that we just like realized that his floor is 2 points.
Facts.
His floor is literally 2 points. It's not like other tight ends where their floors are probably like a point or like it varies. It's been consistent. The 3 times that he's not gotten his number, it's been 2 points.
Yeah, and then as we had that conversation, I was thinking even more. When you look at tight ends, though, like most tight ends are getting like 4, 5, 6, 7, and like I can live with somebody giving me 2 when another weekend give me 17.
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna keep starting them. Obviously, I'm not gonna bench him ever.
No.
It's just like it's funny. Like everybody isn't Kelsey. Everybody isn't in the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
Exactly.
Like, let's get. That's why he costs a 2nd-round pick. That's why Kittle costs early 3rd. Like I got my guy in the 5th round. So it's not. It's a whole different story.
Kelsey and Kittle are in a league of their own.
Exactly.
I think every other tight end. Andrews. I don't know what's going on with Lamar. We'll get into that on a different day.
It feels like he's not even on the field much either.
I don't know what's going on with most of these tight ends, but ain't nobody touching Kelsey and Kittle right now.
No,
it's in a league of their own.
Yeah. Anything else from this matchup from any of you guys?
Now we can move on.
All right. Moving on to the next matchup, and it was Suicide Squad against the newly named My Dad. It's a Suicide Squad 103.58. My Dad scored 71 points. Ben Roethlisberger just recently acquired from Suicide Squad.
12-point banger.
The 12-point banger. But it feels good knowing that your QB can underperform and still, you still get a W because you know that at some point he'll probably win him a game.
But I don't know what Carl's average was before this week. Let me look real fast because it changed, obviously. But Carl was averaging 95 points with just scoring 105, right? Before this. To get 15 from a quarterback and put up 103, imagine when you get in 25.
Yeah.
That's 113.
Yeah.
So people keep talking about, having a great quarterback and all of that is amazing when they can give you 40 every week. But then when the rest of your team is giving you 3 and 5, it don't really matter. But I like the way his team looks now. It looks a lot better. I mean, I still is kind of sketchy about his receivers, but those running backs, man, they're getting better and better. Ronald Jones looks like a fucking stud.
Yeah, Ronald Jones looks amazing.
At least when they're winning, at least.
I think that Amari Cooper, you would take that knowing that that's what you're going to get with Andy Dalton. Like, you can't say that about CeeDee Lamb. You know what I mean? Like, at least with Amari Cooper, if you're like, all right, they scored 10 points and Cooper was the one they got the touchdown.
He's AJ Green. Green.
I feel really good about that. Yeah, exactly. Hawkinson, I think that all of us love Hawkinson's game, so it's good that Stafford is still. I think they're still trying to get that chemistry together between the two of them.
Facts. Nah, I'm glad Suicide Squad trades are finally paying off for him, man.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else? Anything else, you guys, on this one?
Nah, I don't have nothing on the other team.
Yeah,
you put up 71 points. I don't think he deserved to be talked about.
So we're going on to the next one, and this one I think is the one we deemed game of the week.
Yes.
Yeah, and and COVID threw up a coffer. 91 points against one, but you know what? At one point, it looked like the whole show was going to score like 170 points.
Yeah, he should have got blew out by more. Thank God to Kenyon Drake, because he would have been biggest blowout. So Pootie, you should be mad at Kenyon Drake, not us.
Kenyon Drake, man. He made the deal for Cam Newton. Dak Prescott went down. First game with Cam Newton, they were favored, right, going into Denver or playing that Denver game. So it's disappointing to see 19 points from Cam. You hope that that's not going to happen. Juju looks like he's the fourth option on that team right now.
Yeah, and for me, it seems like COVID can't figure out what tight end to start. It's like every week he starts the wrong one.
Yeah, and Jonnu probably would have had a good game because Ferkser did. So, Jonnu's on his way. But now Starhurst, man, you got one choice. On the whole show side, I don't want to toot the horn too much, but he traded for Fuller, so now he has the stack with Deshaun. Anything else, guys, on this one?
Nah, man, Kelsey just keeps performing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kelsey's a wide receiver one, a tight end one, everything.
All right, so let's look at the standings now and recap a little bit of what's going on here. At first place, we have Dead President, 2-6-0. We have the whole show at second place, or 4-2. Poe Biden, who's that? At 4-2, that's third place. Dismantlegate at 3-3 in fourth place. The Bat at 3-3, fifth place. COVID 3-3 at sixth place. He Hate Me 3-3 at seventh place. No Limit Soldiers 3-3, eighth place. My Dad 3-3, ninth place. Not Amused 2-4 in 10th place. Suicide Squad and Let's Go bring up the rear at 11-12 with 1-5 records.
Man, 3-3 teams. That's impressive.
That is pretty good. And that's the parity we talk about, right? Because even Dead Presidents is within striking distance. I mean, we need to strike this week, but it's within striking distance. Right. It's good to see that the 0-5 teams, both of them won. So I think we picked one of them to win last week, which is pretty cool. Anything else? I think the points, we always make a point to point out the points for and points against. I'm trying to get, I think if you look at the waiver moves, I'm at 44, which is 10 more than the next. I think there should be a trophy for that. I just say it. Anything else, Rye, before we move on?
Nah, man. When is Dead President's gonna lose? That's the question.
Oh, and this is a perfect segue to what I'm about to say. Week 7 is rivalry week. So will he go down to his rival?
I don't know.
All right, so rivalry week is upon us, and I think this is where you would expect maybe a little more trash talk than normal, although it's been spicy all year. The first matchup in rivalry week is teacher against student. Poe Biden against Not Amused, or Kanye Shrug as they used to be known as. My boy Will. Right now, I don't have a quarterback because Lamar's on a bye and my kicker's on a bye, but it looks like he has Andy Dalton in there. What else do you see here, right?
Man, is Will gonna start Andy Dalton? I don't put it past Will, man. Will,
he's not playing in prime time. It's not a prime time game.
Yeah.
I still think Andy Dalton is good. He robbed me of a championship, so I still fucking hate him. But
how about Tim Patrick? What do you think about him? I like Tim Patrick.
I liked him. I liked Tim last week. I was somebody I was trying to pick up in waivers, but obviously that didn't happen. Against KC, I don't know. I mean, he's just throwing darts at this point.
Question is, do you think he'll be there on Sunday?
I don't know, man. What else? Does he have many options? P. Ryan? Shark?
I don't know, man. That's between him and his team.
Yeah. He can decide that for himself. But if we're looking at what's on the table right now, you get Josh Jacobs back against Tampa Bay, who we know is a fucking tough run defense.
Yeah.
A tough matchup. But then you get Swift against Atlanta, who is a sieve for points. You can lock it back. That's going to be a shootout in Arizona. Nah, man, it's depending on what you do at quarterback, and obviously
his running backs are always scary.
Yeah, James Conner, man, I think he might be my favorite running back as far as fantasy goes. Like, if I can pick one running back besides the guys I have, obviously, like James Conner would probably be that person. He's just so efficient, bro.
Yeah. Will last year made a deal, right? He sent a running back for Gesicki for the bye week replacement. Was that one of the moves made? Okay. He gets Waller back. To me, Waller's super scary too. He falls in that tier, if not on Andrews, the one immediately below Andrews.
But Tampa Bay, is Tampa Bay a real defense? Like, I know we'll talk about it in our
No, they are. They're number one overall. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But if you're looking at the yards and a lot of those advanced metrics, they're number one.
Yeah. So I mean, again, do we temper expectations for fantasy players against these teams? Like, I went into last week with Aaron Jones. Like, I know Aaron Jones ain't gonna do Aaron Jones things.
No, I mean, and I think we mentioned even McCaffrey, right, had his worst game, or the Carolina running back had the worst game against Tampa.
Yeah, no, it was McCaffrey. Did McCaffrey get hurt that game? I think that's the game McCaffrey got hurt.
Probably.
Yeah, it was week 2.
Yeah, so week Tampa. 2. Yeah. Anything else, Kamish, that you see in this matchup?
No. I think it's gonna be a good matchup.
I'm probably gonna take this L. That's what I said.
Yeah, we're not picking games, so may the best.
May the best man win.
Go ahead, next game.
The next game that I have here is, I like that little rivalry week banner that they put up there. It's pretty cool.
Pretty cute.
Yeah. The next one is, my God, are you really projected 121? Dear God.
You know I don't believe in projections, man.
I know, but that's cute. It looks good. So he hate me, who's 3-3, going up against Suicide Squad, who just got their first win last week, feeling good about themselves. Kamish, this is your matchup. Well, what are you thinking here?
I did a trade, acquired Kamara and Godwin. Probably gave up the wrong quarterback in the trade. That's on me. I'm still Bills Mafia.
Of course,
all the way.
Still got the defense.
It just again, not to go into my matchup too much. I want to touch on a lot of people listen to the show in this league, and I think they take a lot of pointers from this league. So that being said, I think a couple weeks ago, I think Ryan was the one that mentioned it. I just had too many Bills players on my team, whether it's Moss, the Bills D, Josh Allen. My dumb ass was trying to acquire Diggs too. I was a little under the influence.
I tried. Me too.
While
we're confessing, and me too.
Zach Moss, all of it, everything. He wants the whole Bills team.
So we'll see how it plays. I don't believe in projections.
Yeah.
You know, I think I was projected probably to lose the first 5 out of 6 weeks. You know, I'm 3-3. Projections change. Play calling, I don't. You know, depends on the coaching and again, man, hamstrings. That's all I'm saying. Hamstrings.
Yeah.
Hamstrings.
Right.
All it takes is one play. All it takes is one play. You know.
So,
I know everyone views Kamara as a beast, but I fucking hate Taysom Hill. You know what I mean? I hate Latavius Murray.
That's why I didn't draft
Vultures.
Kamara.
Yeah, that's why.
Vultures.
That's why I'm glad. I'm glad Kamara wasn't on my team early. But like, you know, you do see. I think that the biggest thing that you've taken on this year, and I think that this is where people probably are missing the point on some of your trades, is that you've taken on a tremendous amount of injury risk.
Definitely. Julio again gave up Montgomery.
Who I love Montgomery. I love Montgomery.
You know what I mean? He's getting 5, 7, 8 targets a game. Again, I hate Matt Nagy. He just doesn't know how to use them right.
Yeah.
You know, and we thought the quarterback changed from terrible biscuit Trubisky to Nick Foles. I thought this whole team was going to go off. Robinson, Mooney's starting to do a little something here and there, but again, we don't play in PPR leagues. Can't really trust him too much. But it's Matt Nagy, man. It's some of these coaching, man. Some of these coaches you can't trust.
Yeah,
that's what I love.
Yeah, man. I love the players. I hate the coaches.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Last night, you're down 28 to I think it was like 28-3 or 31-3. McCarthy kicks a 58-yard field goal. Bruh, you're down 4 scores.
Yeah, what momentum are you trying to gain by getting 3 points on the board?
And again, man, I just don't understand these coaches, man. I really don't.
Yeah, man, it's like some of these guys are recycled, and we wonder why. Gase, I'm looking at you. In this one, I do want to mention that I see Fulgham is in there. I like Fulgham. It looks like that's one of those. Fulgham, you know how when someone Wentz finds someone, it's like he loves using that toy. It was almost like with Goddard towards the end of last year when he was like, oh man, this guy's pretty good, and he was using him a lot. With that Greg Ward. Yeah, an amazing. He turned him into what he is. I think Fulgham is a pretty good play. And against the Giants, you see who knows?
3 straight games with a touchdown.
Yeah,
we'll talk on it more on the matchups tomorrow. But speaking of matchups, and I'm looking at both sides, is it safe to say that the Packers are about to humiliate the Houston Texans on Sunday? Because I think they're about to put up 50 on them. And
they just might.
Because nobody likes being embarrassed, especially Aaron Rodgers. And he was embarrassed. Sue was talking a lot of trash. I think he's coming out against the Texans and he puts up a 50 on them. I'm starting the reserves on the Packers. I'm starting AJ Dillon, everybody this week, because they're going to be running everybody out there after they beat them up. But, I mean, yeah, both got some good matchups. Kamara versus the Panthers, amazing. Hunt versus Cincinnati, amazing. And then he got some decent ones. Montgomery versus the Rams aren't the worst. We saw the Niners.
Ronald Jones against Las Vegas, man. Jones should eat in that one.
Yeah. And the tough one, obviously, James Robinson versus the Chargers. But even then, they're a little overrated on defense right now because everybody's hurt. So
yeah, pretty much.
Right. Melvin Ingram should be, I think, activated. I think he's coming off of IR this week.
Oh, they're bringing him back.
I think so. So again,
okay, so that helps.
Yeah.
But anyways, they don't know how to use James Robinson anyway. So that was my gripe with them. He's a great player, and he finally scored, but they just don't know what's good when they got it. Some of these coaches are just dumb.
Yeah. So
it should be a good matchup, man. I hope Carl wins. Okay.
No, but this is one of those games that you have to win if you want to claw your way back into playoff contention. And unfortunately, at 1-5, every game is a must.
Beat a good team now.
Every game is a must win, and you're gonna have to put up at least 100 points in this one to win this one, brother.
You don't get to play Nelson every week, buddy.
The next matchup is No Limit Soldiers, who are 3-3 in their 8th place against the first place team, Dead Presidents.
This is a good ass matchup right here.
Matchup, yeah. I mean, Wow. Okay, so you're gonna start Justin Jackson. You're gonna start Tunyon, Lamb. Okay, so he's pretty much going with the team he's been putting out there, right? With the exception of like Madison for Jackson.
Yeah, I thought he would start Leonard Fournette since he's such a good player, but that's just not the case anymore.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
And then he's got his amazing stack versus the Bears, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
But on the other side, again, what is that president's is running into hurdles. Now he has to really manage. He's been low-key coasting, scoring a bunch of points. Now it comes down to the nitty-gritty where you have to pull points out of nowhere. And let's see what he can do.
Yeah, he's got a few
So
bye
good.
weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a few bye weeks that I see. Dalvin Cook. So, do you know if Dalvin Cook is coming back after the bye?
I hope not.
Soft tissue injury.
Probably not.
Dalvin has not played a full season in the NFL yet.
Another reason why I didn't take him.
Yeah. I didn't want him.
That's why, I mean, Derrick Henry was scrubbish at the beginning, but now he's looking a little bit better.
But that's why I think that if you can have your draft strategy and your players can be great, but there's no way that your number one pick shouldn't have his insurance policy on your bench. Right? Like his handcuff you have to reach for his handcuff. There's no, or make a deal for Madison, right? Like at some point, I feel like a deal should
That was shocking to me.
Yeah, like, you know, because that's one piece that it's almost like you need to handcuff your number one because you invested that much in him.
Yo,
yeah,
look,
but when you're winning, you're 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0.
You don't think about
that.
But you should, though.
I mean?
Shouldn't you?
You should. Again, we don't all think alike.
Yeah.
Yo, it didn't happen. But what I would have done, since we're good managers here, I know Pooty would have lost Nick Chubb. He needed a running back. Jared McKinnon was on fire. I would have traded Jared McKinnon to somebody for Alexander Madison. At that point, wasn't worth much but a backup.
Mm-hmm.
But then he trades him for Mark Ingram, and
yeah,
we're here. So
we're
Jared McKinnon this week.
Yeah, definitely. Bye. Anything else here in this matchup? Kyler Murray, he continues. Does it? Obviously, it will continue against Seattle. So, Jared Goff, no limit. You're gonna hope that he keeps pace.
Monday Night Football.
The good thing is that he has Hopkins. So Hopkins is coming off his lowest scoring output of the year. So he's gonna bounce back with a vengeance here. Wow. So this changes things with this matchup.
He's kind of capped, in my opinion.
Who is?
I mean, I guess they're both capping each other, so those kind of cancel out. But man,
I like him to cancel out Murray a little more because if you
cancel each other out.
Yeah, so if you think that, I think the dangerous thing about this game versus Seattle with Kyler Murray, knowing that Hopkins had his lowest output, is that he's going to probably try to overcompensate and give him more this week.
Yeah. But Kyler Murray's been running the ball so much that it don't even matter. Like he's getting 7-8 from just running. Like
who's 29 points a week, bro. Easy.
Yeah. And then AJ Brown and DK, that's just a cheat.
Yeah.
Have those. And Kittle, like that's a good. He might have one of the best receiving cores as far as just like packing a punch.
Wow, look at the battle of the running backs here. David Johnson against Damian Harris.
Damn, elite.
So I mean, it's good that he had Harris on the IR because at least that's a piece that he had.
Yeah.
Anything else we see in this matchup? I mean, it's gonna be a tough one, man. I think I pick every week for dead presidents to like finally get beaten, and I'm gonna do. I mean, if I were picking, I would do that again this week because I need it to be reachable, man. I need you to be like within striking distance.
Facts. We want that number one spot.
My opinion on this matchup, I think Arizona's going to come out and try to run the ball, keep Russell off the field. Defense definitely overperformed against the Cowboys. Buda Baker's a monster.
Yeah.
Patrick Peterson Patrick Peterson is not the same anymore. Buda Baker back there is a monster. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to try to keep Russell off the field. I think it's going to be a Chase Edmonds, Drake kind of game once again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Drake, the second game of the season, have over 200 yards rushing against the Seahawks?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the second game where they had Drake was the one that he actually blew up and got like multiple touchdowns in that game. And that was like,
could be right.
And that was like a statement game. So it goes to your point. That was the most recent game. The strategy was to keep Russ off the field, and that wasn't even when Russ was cooking.
Yeah, 24 carries, 166, and 2 touchdowns.
Okay, so not 200, but it felt like 200 yards. But that's pretty good. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And the thing with Russ, even if you do try to keep him off the field and limit the time of possession, all he needs is two bombs to DK, and it's a wrap. You know what I mean? He could give you 25 in the first half and only have 15 minutes of time possession.
Yeah.
So again, coaching, man. Pete Carroll's a monster on the low. I think he never gets Coach of the Year. He does things with less, man. Whether it's beast mode, Carson. I didn't think DK was going to be the way he is right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nah, no one did, man. Anyone could have had him.
Yeah, nobody drafted him.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And tight ends, man. They got who is it? Disley still on the team.
Hollister,
and Olsen.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're gonna see, man. I think that's probably NFL wise. I think that's gonna be the game of the week. Not fantasy wise, NFL wise. I think that's gonna be the game of the week.
I like that one. Yeah, I like that. I like that game. So in terms of this matchup, there's nothing really else to see. George Kittle, you've been given the kiss of death because Bill Belichick has come out and said that he loves you. So you're screwed this week, buddy.
You can put up. Give him 3 points right now.
Yo, I put it at 50 yards. Yo, I think that if he gets 50 yards, dude, you take that and run.
Over under.
Yeah. Nothing else with this matchup here. We'll go on to the next, and that is has he been listening? So we have Shooter going up against Let's Go, and his team name is now Let's Not.
That's hilarious. I knew it was gonna be something like that.
So we almost got it, but Let's Not now. Now he's in full troll mode now. He's moved on to next week, it looks like, and he has his sights set on Let's Go. Let's Go has some tough decisions here, but it looks like Claypool, you love that. Michael Thomas, is this the week you're coming back?
He should have came back last week or the week before the thing if he didn't punch anybody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Freeman, Thursday night against Philly. You're going to get more work in the air than you will in the ground because Philly's run defense is tough. Singletary, man, his projections are like that every week. Dude, it's tough because that Buffalo offense is just not a running back friendly offense.
Josh Allen's the running back.
Yeah, I mean, he hate me. You let me know if I'm, it's.
Brian Daboll came out and said it today. He's got to call better plays for Singletary and Moss.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the play calling.
Yeah, because if we have more of an established run game and it can help take a little bit off of Josh's shoulders, what it's looking like is he feels like he has to do way more than he should.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Smokey Brown. It wasn't 100% this past Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see. They got to use Beasley a lot more. I ain't seen too much of Gabriel Davis this weekend. I don't know why.
Right.
He caught one pass.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people are just intimidated going against Kansas City. Kansas City coming off of a bad loss to Las Vegas.
Who the Bills beat. Who the Bills beat.
Yeah, So again, weather was shitty yesterday. Maybe that. But again, weather is shitty. You would think they would run the ball more.
Nah, that's what Kansas City did.
Kansas City did that exactly.
But even came out running the ball and then it just stopped.
Yeah. We got out coached. We got out coached, and Andy Reid is. I think that Kansas City needs to thank the lucky stars every day when they wake up in the morning that Andy Reid is their head coach.
Definitely.
And I think Tennessee could say the same. I know he's young, but they got one in Vrabel. I'll tell you that right now. He's a Vrabel started the year coming in the stadium wearing a mask that said feed Derrick Henry or some shit. What I mean? Like he knows what's good for him. Yeah, 100%. Anything else in this matchup? Tyreek Hill, who had probably his lowest scoring game of the year last week. You expect him to maybe change things in Denver. Todd Gurley, who's been, that's one of the moves he made this year. Todd Gurley had, I got to tip my hat to Shooter here. That was a good move.
Yeah, the only thing I'm looking at. Yeah, exactly. This week he has no Miles Gaskin, no Thielen, so we're already seeing he has to start Phillip Lindsay as a backup because Melvin Gordon's coming back, and then who he's going to put at wide receiver too. He's got a couple of guys on his bench. Is he going to waiver wire somebody? Mm-hmm. He doesn't know what he wants to do at quarterback yet. So
the Shooter's got his method, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So this is going to be an interesting one, right? Because Let's Go just got their first win. Shooters on a win streak. Nice little storyline here.
Le'Veon Bell and KC. Is that somebody you start?
Oh, wait. That's right. Yes. So that's probably why that flex spot is open.
He just flexed on it and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I got
I'm going to tell you something. You add Le'Veon Bell. I'm not even, again, I think HHM, when we were doing our news about Le'Veon, we tried to prognosticate what his performance output would be. And I'm curious to get your take. What do you put him at? And I guess to simplify it, I'll say, is he an RB2 the rest of the year, a low-end RB2, or is he a low-end RB1 the rest of the year?
I think I kind of agree with Ryan's assessment, if I recall correctly. Right now, he's a flex play. Mm-hmm. I give him 2 weeks to get acclimated to the playbook. He's going to be the goal line back for sure.
Yeah.
He's got a nose for the end zone. Mm-hmm. Come December, gets cold in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CH.
I think that's when Le'Veon is gonna be a low end RB1.
Wow.
Come December.
That's amazing. So you're saying
10 to 15 touches, he's gonna be a low RB1 come end of November, early December.
Yo, and P, and to our points that we've been saying all year, and look, I don't like wishing injuries on people, but we know CEH ain't built to last. He's not built for tough. And they clearly don't believe in Darrell Williams because they wouldn't have got Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I mean,
Darrell Williams is a good player, but we've seen it. It's just something's lacking. He's still learning. He's gonna get better, but he's not Le'Veon Bell.
You got a chance.
If ever CEH goes down, like Mike said, Le'Veon Bell's a top 7 RB, top 5 RB instantly, and that's insane.
Yeah,
I just don't I think yesterday might have been his best game. CEH.
Facts.
When you got Kelsey, you got all that speed on offense. They're not putting 8 in the box, and you're not performing. That's a problem.
Facts.
Yeah, and I mean,
fantasy aside, just real life football. Me watching the games, you got Hardman, Robinson, Kelsey, and Hill, and you can't put 8 in the box. You got to have over 100 yards every game.
Yeah,
that's why it's so hard in the goal line for them.
Yeah, that's true.
As far as running goes, that's why they always do those little sweeps to Tyreek Hill and all these guys.
Yeah,
right.
And, I mean, on that note, I think anything else on that matchup?
No. Let's go.
Go, let's go. Hey, I see you, Shooter, man. Shooter, yo, to me, you got my vote for MVP for MVP troll this year, man. Don't let me down, bro. Don't let me down. But the reason that rivalry week exists is because of this matchup right here. The whole show in Dismantlegate. The whole show is 4-2. Second place in Dismantlegate is in fourth place at 3-3. What do you see here, bro?
I don't see a second running back is what I don't see. He can do whatever he wants to try to get another running back. And his second running back isn't going to be better than my third running back. So good luck. Will Fuller, you better pray. I'm telling y'all, Houston is not doing nothing this week. I'm saying it on air. There's proof. Jair Alexander is going to clamp up every receiver out there that they have.
Yeah.
And Watson's been balling. Let's give it to him. He's the number 1 quarterback right now as far as points go over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's going to put up points. I think regardless of who he plays, he's going to put up points.
But it ain't going to be 40.
Probably
I
not.
don't think it'll be 40. And Cooper Kupp against the Bears. Calvin Ridley is a stud. Let's be honest. And the way Zeke looked, can you trust him with Dalton at this point?
Yeah, I would.
Against Washington's fronts, I mean, they're not that bad against the run.
Yeah.
If they're good at anything, but I mean, Kelsey scares me the most in this matchup. Everybody else, I mean, I know Ridley's gonna get his points, but if Kelsey gets 20, then it's gonna be a tough one for me.
Yeah.
But that's the only way I can see myself losing.
Yeah. Pittsburgh and Tennessee, that's a tough little matchup, but you got to roll with Pittsburgh's defense the way they've been playing, right, on D.
Facts.
Russ, you already know what Russ is going to do. He's going to cook, and we already think that matchup's going to be a high-scoring one. So, what do you put the over/under on that matchup?
Points-wise?
Yeah.
What the
Seattle Arizona game?
I haven't seen it yet.
Me either. What do you think? What do you put it at?
I guarantee
57?
59.
No, way higher. It might be 59-60.
Do you think it'll be 60?
I'll say 31-28. I see.
All right.
It's gonna be the highest it's been all year.
I got it right here.
I think the highest I saw was like 58, right, or some shit like that.
Okay, so we're in week 7.
It's got to be like 59
right now.
And then it's gonna be the Seahawks favored by like 2.5 or like.
What do you have it at?
I have 59.
59.
59, 60. I say 60 plus.
All right, so it's at 56.5.
They capping.
That's low, bro.
What's the spread? 2.5?
3.5.
2.5, 3.5. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, they capping. They gotta adjust that joint.
That's a little low.
Well, then again, last night's game had the highest over under, and we saw how that turned out.
Yeah,
but they didn't realize that Andy Dalton was gonna be Andy Dalton.
Well, then they should know primetime Andy Dalton ain't Andy Dalton.
This is Russell Wilson versus Kyler Murray. This isn't.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah. The way both of these quarterbacks.
Let's be honest. As good as Arizona's defense played last night, they're not that good.
Not against Russ. Not against Russ. Not when Russ faces them twice a year.
In a dome in Arizona.
Coming off a bye. So.
Oh my God, this game is gonna be fun to watch, man. We need to watch it tomorrow.
I wish this was a Thursday game.
Is this the week that Nick Foles finally shows that like command of that Chicago offense that you'd like him to show? Because I don't
even care anymore, honestly.
I don't care anymore.
I just don't want Allen Robinson to give me 0 points. I like whatever, man. Because it's not even Nick Foles; it's the coaching staff. Again, we talk about it's not the player. We can't, as much as we want to add these players and give them depth threats and stuff, we can only blame them so much. Like they're not calling the plays.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're not executing the plays that these coaches think are good, which they're not. But like, I just don't understand how you don't feed your best receiver consistently, or at least try to. And they have. I mean, my man's getting targets, but
yeah,
I'm talking about when we talk about great coaches like Andy Reid and some of these other winning coaches, the Saints guys, they put their players in positions to succeed. They don't think they're going to get yards. They know they're going to get yards because that's what players are meant to do. It's not like, like Adam Gase be like, oh, I'm going to draw this up and hopefully we get 5 yards. Andy Reid be like, yo, we're drawing this up. It's going to be 25 plus. Yeah. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah, he knows. It's, I don't know, man. I don't know what some of these coaches think. I feel like some of them, they get used to hearing that they're geniuses so that they don't really think anything else of themselves, even when they're messing up. And that's what's happening with guys like Nagy, who really is confused. I feel like when he first became the head coach, you thought that was another Andy Reid right there calling the plays.
It was exciting.
It was exciting. And even Mitch, I don't know if they told him to stop running, but the minute he stopped scrambling and getting those yards on the ground, that was it for his like stats, because he was fantasy relevant his first year when he started.
I was like, damn, he's a stud.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks later, I was like, never mind.
The one going back to your matchup here, the thing that I really like about your side is the Galladay that matchup right there. I think
if only I had Galladay all year.
Yeah. And Derrick Henry, curious to see what you do against Pittsburgh. I know he's one of those running backs that are pretty much proof, like matchup proof, but
but he's not.
It's just,
if he gives me 10 points, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, you take that.
I'm not expecting him to do anything. I mean, the man has scored 2 touchdowns the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Everything. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm downplaying him, but I know what the Steelers defense will do.
Yeah, it'll average things out a little bit. Hey, Commish, anything on this matchup?
Oh, Aaron Jones versus Houston. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's another one that's gonna be a doozy.
Yeah, see, I'm glad you touched on that, Ryan. Like you said, if they come out and put up a 50 burger, I don't see Aaron Jones, Devontae, and A-Rod playing in the fourth quarter.
No.
Yeah, but they'll do all their damage, and I mean, this might be one where, like, it's gonna be tough because it's gonna go back. I think
one thing to keep an eye on is Bakhtiari. Is he banged up?
He was out last week.
Yeah, that changes things on that line, man.
I just feel like they gave up on the run way too early against the Bucks because they have such a great run defense. So maybe they were shook and they're like, oh, we got to attack them through the air, and it kind of just backfired on them. They had the lead to start the game, and then, I mean, we got people tipping passes and getting picked off. That guy, me and Pete say it every week. That corner on the Bucks, what's his name?
Davis.
Carlton Davis. Yeah,
he's going to become an elite cornerback.
Yeah, he's a problem.
God, I hate when my receivers play against him.
Dalton Schultz, I see that you put him in there. Obviously, Andy Dalton. We were like, oh, Andy Dalton never really had a good tight end, and then we were like, wait, Tyler Eifert. You know what I mean? Like he is the type of guy to check down to a tight end. So Dalton Schultz, you could do worse, right, for a bye week replacement. I should know. I should know. But aside from that, I see you got AP, your new acquisition there in the flex, and
I just need 5 from AP.
Yeah, and you know, if you win this one, I wonder how much John is actually going to be talking.
John. I mean, I'm not even going to talk because when you're used to winning and you know what winning feels like, it's fun, but it's not like, oh yeah, cool. Like, I'm not rubbing it in. John can do whatever he wants if he beats me. That's fine.
John is a troll no matter what, man.
No matter what.
I've learned that. You know what I mean? No matter what.
Look, it's guaranteed that if John loses, we can hear 18 reasons why he lost. And John, if you lose and I beat you this week, do not tell me why you lost. I don't give a fuck.
And he'll be smiling in the process, like, because he's the troll.
He'll be like, oh, boom week, blah, blah, blah. Stop stealing my words, too.
Stop stealing, bro.
And stop stealing gifts.
Yo, yeah.
Find a damn running back. Go
trade you said that while the commission's here, because I think he started by taking the commissions.
Habitual line stepper, gift stealer.
Because he's now that I feel like he's felt enabled, so he's doing that now to Pootie. He's taking Pootie. You know, I feel like there is an unwritten rule of like gifts that you cannot use, right? Like,
I only take him to troll. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if they use it on you, you can use it like as a retaliatory thing. But
I don't use it as like a thing. Like,
like we already know you've got like the Rocky one, the Jordan one. Like, you know, I don't really like look for those because I already know like that's what you're gonna go to, right?
Right.
So I try to find my own thing, and I feel like there's enough gifts to where everyone can claim their own, right? Like, you got your Why So Serious stuff, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have to like, hey, that might need to be a rule from now on.
John's not good at following rules if you haven't.
Yeah, he's not. Let's go to the last matchup, and I think the reason I was overlooking this one is because one of the managers is empty, so it's not like we can say anything about that side, because we're not looking at benches.
No.
So we're only going to look at COVID side on this matchup.
Facts.
But we have an 88-6 score here in this matchup between COVID and my dad. And it's Cam Newton. Which version of Cam are we getting here, guys?
Man,
who did they play? San Fran.
Yeah. Who just got Mosley back last week, who looked pretty good on Sunday night. And they're getting another corner back this week as well.
Is the game played in San Fran or New England?
It's in New England. That changes things.
New England.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's in San Francisco.
Oh, it's in San Francisco. Okay, but again, Patriots coming off of a unexpected loss. Belichick after a bye losing is.
No, the game is in New England.
Now
it's in New England. Okay.
Yeah, no, game is in New England.
Okay. For that, I think I'm gonna take New England side. In New England, a loss by Belichick after a bye week.
That's the first time,
Kittle.
right? That's got to be the first time since
I think so.
Since he's been a Pats coach.
I think so. Wow. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Belichick knows Garoppolo very well. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Losing Mostert is big.
Yeah.
You don't have that home run threat at running back. Whether it's Wilson, I don't know, McKinnon. It's going to be tough. So I think New England. I think New England is going to show up in this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Keenan Allen would be I'm interesting to see how he develops further with the young quarterback. Because it looks like he got hurt his last game, right? Allen, he didn't finish the game.
Unfortunately.
And then Mike Williams ended up getting having his best week of the year. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go, because Keenan Allen, again, where COVID drafted him, it was such a bargain. And now that you're going to get Herbert, that looks like he's a 300-yard passer. He looks even better. DJ Moore, that Carolina defense ran into a buzzsaw last week. Does it pick back up where they left off, where they're Bridgewater's cooking or not? Gibson, he's doing his thing. He's a little limited with his team, but he's going to produce.
I think speaking of Carolina real quick, again, this might not have to do with fantasy. Well, it does have to do with fantasy. It's going to be interesting when CMC comes back. I want to see how that changes the wide receiver group. I want to see what Robbie's going to be able to do more. And I honestly don't think they're going to take Mike Davis off the field. I think Mike Davis is still going to touch the ball 10 to 15 times.
I was going to ask. I'm curious why you felt like things were going to be different. You feel like Mike Davis is going to now be more in the role?
No. I think they're not going to try to run Christian McCaffrey into the ground, but I don't think they could put. I don't think they're going to put 8 in the box anymore. So I don't know if that's going to be beneficial to the wide receivers, or CMC is just going to go crazy, or both running backs might go crazy. It's again, they got a good coach over there, first year coach. The reason Robbie's doing good, that's his college coach from Temple, I think. So it's I don't know, man. Carolina, a lot of people sleeping on Carolina. Carolina actually might. We'll see in a couple weeks, but I had New Orleans going to the Super Bowl. In that division, I think Carolina is going to end up with a better record than New Orleans.
Wow. I think they are a good. You know what I said about Carolina, and I said about Rule, the coach. I said all Rule needs to do is go in and keep the culture the same, right? Because Rivera had a good culture in that locker room.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to change much in that locker room, right? So he probably had a team that wasn't going to go through those ebbs and flows like those rebuilding teams, because of the fact that Ron Rivera runs really good locker rooms.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right, so
I should be good. That division is very close. Besides the Falcons, everybody's within a game of each other. So it should be. They still have to play each other a little bit more going forward.
Yeah, so. I wouldn't sleep on the Falcons either, man. I really I know the defense is kind of ass, but a new coach, man. I think they gave up on. I think they gave up on their former coach, and I honestly, not because I have Julio. I think Julio was healthy and didn't want to play for that coach anymore.
Wow.
He's been saying that.
He looked healthy as all hell. He looked good.
Yeah, and that was only taking one game off last week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think coaching change, man, does a lot for these players.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's and those are the interesting things, that nuances that that you need to know or look for in fantasy. That'll probably give you a little edge, man. So tip to you fantasy managers out there: know everything.
Coaching.
Just don't stalk anyone. So this is our last matchup. Anything else here on this matchup before we move on?
Nah, I'm excited. I'm always excited to watch football.
Yeah.
Thursday is going to be another doozy, but.
Yeah, Kamish, man, thank you for joining us. Do you have any parting messages for our league members before you go?
I just want the league to stay together, stay competitive. Please, guys, use your waivers. If and what I wanted to say earlier, a lot of people listen to this pod, and I think Ryan had said it on the pod. Well, both of you guys said it on the pod, and then on Ryan this past week, I said after he made the trade, basically told everyone to make moves and start trading. And a lot of people take advice from this pod and apply it to their teams. I feel like, or from what I've seen. So Ryan, don't tell anybody to trade anymore, because we see what the hell has been going on the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. Don't take my advice, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Just yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm guilty too.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like, yo, make moves now.
Forget how much of an influence we can have sometimes.
Man, and the history of this league, everyone, we've never had this many trades ever in this league. Never. The trades usually happen, I think, is before week 9. I think is the trade deadline, either week 9 or week 10.
Yeah, I gotta
check on that.
We get a little spike around that time. Yeah,
you know what I mean. I've never seen. I think we got 7 or 8 trades and
10,
9 or 10.
10. Yeah. You know what I mean. And we're in we're about to be in week 7. That's a little over a trade per week. Shit's crazy. Week 7. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So, but again, I just again, my bad for using the word bullying earlier. I want everyone. Again, we're all friends at the end of the day, man. Just you know what I mean. Keith disappeared off the track. I don't know what the reason for it is. I don't know.
We're looking for him.
We're looking for him. I don't know if he. I thought he was going to jump back on with the way CH performed yesterday.
Nah.
Because I think everybody got on him like, oh, they got Le'Veon, CEH is going to go to the bench, and I don't think that hurt his feelings and made him disappear. I don't know if it was our trades.
No, it's this. It's this. Look.
Yeah, that's true. It could be.
Yeah, it was a quiet you up real quick. Trust me, I've been there.
So,
everybody's in striking distance, man. Just keep fucking going.
Yeah, keep fighting, man.
Respect each other, and then just, try to fucking win, man. Everybody try to win. That's all I want.
And again, just a reminder for, I think most of us have been playing in this league for over 5 years, average of 5 years. There was a team, I think it was 9 years ago, that started out 0-6 and made the championship game. Just don't give up, man.
Was that your team?
I'm rooting for you, bro.
Was that your team?
That's when I met you in the championship game and lost. Yeah,
I remember that, yo. This dude, yo, people were getting on you that time, and you was
that was the first year I started the league.
Yeah, I remember.
I started out 0-6.
People were getting on you for starting out 0-6.
Yeah, how you gonna be the commissioner, start a league, and you start out 0-6?
Yo, that wasn't a good first impression.
Damn, I can honestly say I think 0-2 was the worst I've ever had, and I was doubting myself, like, damn, I'm washed.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, no.
Those losing streaks could snowball, man.
Facts.
Yeah.
Exactly. I did want to mention something. So the Yahoo sports department, the Yahoo Fantasy Sports Department, did get our check last week. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because last week there were 2 teams that played games in our league, and both teams blew out their opponent by the same score.
And obviously, one of them got the bad end of that stick.
Yeah, so if you know who it is, let me know. Keep me posted.
Yeah. You can't see it anywhere on the screen probably right now, but
I can't.
Hootie, look, until I get blown out, the biggest blowout, don't talk to me. Don't send me that gif of the guy laughing until I get blown out. Please. You owe it to yourself. You got 2 up on me. I'm laughing really hard. You just can't see it.
There goes a Denzel Washington gif right there from Pootie.
Yeah. Come on, man.
On that note, Rye, anything else before I sign it off?
Week 7 is among us. Starts Thursday. Let's go.
How about you, HHM? Thank you so much for joining us. I know this is.
Thanks for having me on. I hope this clears up a lot for the league. Again, my apologies for using the word bully. I just want everyone to be involved, man. Don't give up. I don't care if you end up being 1-12. Play to the end. Keep making moves. let's keep it fun, man.
To your point, I did want to add that I remember one year when I was mathematically eliminated. It was like one of the last weeks, and I was like, oh, I think I was in a consolation. I was like, what am I doing, right? Like, why would I even set a lineup? But then what I started thinking was, what would I have done had I been in a playoff scenario, right? So there's a benefit in just actually acting like, what would I do if I were in a meaningful game, right? So there's value in playing it out because you're shooting in the gym. Those are reps that you can use for next year, right? Like, okay, I've been doing this with quarterbacks all wrong all year. Let me try something completely different these last 4 weeks, right? Or these last 3 weeks. So there's value in playing it out. We're not telling you for our selfish reasons because we're at the top trying to make sure that you're competitive with some of our opponents, but that's part of it. But it's just like there's value in it, right? Like if you do want to learn how to get better at it, then it's better not to punt on your season and maybe focus on those last few weeks. And what did you do different? Do it, right? Try something else.
Yeah, the losses more because you can learn.
Yeah, Yahoo keeps track of all this shit. Your winning percentage, your history, everything. So you might not think, consolation bracket means anything, but you might end up in 7th place in the consolation bracket, and you end up with a decent overall win percentage for the amount of time you've been playing on Yahoo itself. So yeah, just just keep that in mind, and yeah, man, just
there's always next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
yeah, I like how stoic. I like how you're so professional, bro. Like you're like a league commissioner, bro. I like that.
Yeah, man. Perception is everything,
Yeah, 100%. But
that's how you preserve your team.
No, but I know it's not easy doing what you do and being a dad, and then also entertaining our bullshit on a daily basis. So I do want to say it's we do appreciate what you do in collecting all the money, making sure our money is there at the end of the year.
This is the first year I could say I didn't have to chase anyone for money. I didn't have to deal with Ryan. It's kind of your fault because the 2 people you brought in the league, they drove me crazy the past 2-3 years.
Hey, Venmo wasn't as popular as it is now.
But he was going through some certain problems. But aside from that, one last comment. I play in a different league, like I told you guys. I don't want to tell you, to go too much into that. It's not a free public league. It is a paid league. I have one of the best rosters in the league. I'm 1-5. Kittle, Mike Thomas, Josh Allen, Chris Carson. I could keep going. I'm 1-5.
Yeah.
So
matchups, I try to tell you, matchups matter.
Yeah, matchups do matter. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah.
Actually, and I got Kyler Murray in that league. I'm 1-5. Just saying.
It also goes to show you that sometimes you have certain players that have their name that's a fancy name that you feel like you can't take that person out no matter the matchup, and it almost goes against what you're about, right? Like because we're the types that if a matchup is bad, the matchup is going to speak more than the player to me, right? Like for the most part, like a Derrick Henry is a no-brainer, right? Like no matter who he plays. The same for like a Devontae Adams. You're not going to sit him no matter what corner he plays, right? But then you have certain wide receivers that are like, is this guy really matchup proof? You know what I mean? But sometimes with the name, you're like, I gotta play him.
Right. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Projections don't mean nothing. I know a lot of us, I know I do. You click on that little tab above, the schedule, power rate. I think it's power rankings or power rankings, draft day projections.
Yeah.
You see that shit don't mean nothing. I'm just, you know what I mean? I was projected to go 12 because we played in other league. It's 14 weeks. I was projected to be 12-2. I'm 1-5. So projections don't mean shit.
Yeah, 100%. No, again, Kamish, thank you so much for joining us, man. I know you got, you're probably sitting somewhere doing this interview with us, and we appreciate that. This is our interview debut. We couldn't have had a better guest, to be honest. I'm glad. Hope you join us in the future for other shows too.
Definitely, anytime.
Yeah, so we'll probably have to do like a State of the Union before the season's over with the commish. Bring you back on. And Ryan and I do intend on keeping this going through the playoffs, whether we're in it or not, and through the fantasy season. And so again, hopefully you'll.
We're gonna be in it, so
yeah. Hopefully you and hopefully you join us as a reoccurring guest whenever we.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure the league is. I'm sure the league down the road is going to want you on again anyway, so get ready.
I'm sure. I know Ricky is.
I know Ricky is. How do you know I was thinking about him?
Ricky is troll number 2 behind John right now.
If anyone watching this, if you keep up with our league, if you keep up with anyone in the league that we've mentioned, comment section below, talk to us, interact with us. If you have any leagues that you're creating that you want help, if you want to create something like this, you can reach out to Ryan or myself. Our social media handles are right under us. If you want to inquire the commish about how to run a league, you can email us at thefantasystandardtfs@gmail.com, and we'll be definitely willing to pass along the information. I'm not just going to give you his info because I'm not creepy like that. Not that we think you're creepy, but thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit that follow button, that subscribe button, drop a review, because that's how we know how we're doing, right? Like, we don't know if we're doing good if you don't tell us. So make sure you follow us. Rye, anything else?
Nah, man, we'll catch you next week. Another one coming.
All right. Another one in the books. Peace.